Oh no, is this gonna be Twilight fanfic? Oh, I'm getting nervous. This is a lot of books. Well, shit. Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brianna and this is 4 Paws in a Book. I make bookish videos over here on my little corner of the internet. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure that you hit the subscribe button down below. Today, it's time to let Kerplunk choose my TBR. If you are new around here, I have a TBR game where I let Kerplunk pick my TBR. It's a whole thing. I will link the playlist up above. I've been doing this all year. It's been a lot of fun. September was a really interesting month in that I was trying to read a bunch of stuff from my physical TBR, and so I left all of the tomes to the end of the month, which was a choice. It was a choice. I still have a bit I need to read before the end of the month. I am filming this a little bit early, so I still have some time to figure out stuff, but let's talk about what I need to read. So in the month of September, I had these books, plus I had Tastemakers, which was my nonfiction pick, and then I had a mood read. I obviously did my mood read because I've read a lot of books that weren't on this TBR. I've read Children of Fallen Gods. I'm about a third of the way into Mask of Mirrors, so we're gonna count it, and then I still have these two to read. This one I'm not worried about because it's like super short. I can read it in an afternoon, and then this one I'm gonna be starting like as soon as Rom-Comathon ends. And then I also read Tastemakers. I've unhauled it since then, so it's down in my basement with the rest of my Pango books, and then I obviously did my mood read. So theoretically I can still complete this TBR. Like I said, I still have about a week and a half left as I'm filming this, so I should be able to. I also still need to read Jasmine Throne, which was my Patreon pick for the month. I am still going to pick another book for October. If I don't get this one done, I will just read them both in October. It's fine. I'm sorry that it's taken me so long to read this. I want to read it, but it's a tome. Before I figure out the Kerplunk and how many books I need to read for that, let's talk about my required reads. The first one is going to be Lone Women by Victor Lavelle. This is going to be the October pick for the Not Your Mom's Boozy book club that Cal over at Retrieving Books and I run. So we will be reading this together. This is like a historical horror that I think has some fantastical elements. A woman with a past, a mysterious trunk, a town on the edge of nowhere, and the bracing new vision of the American West. I've heard really good things about this one, and I have a feeling it's probably going to end up on the Goodreads Choice Awards in some category or another, so excited to read this one. And then Shay from Shay Geeks Out and I will be buddy reading Mother of Death and Dawn, which is the third book in the Daughter of No Worlds trilogy. We buddy read the second one together, really enjoyed it, and like immediately wanted to start this book. So we're going to be reading it early in October. This is a literal brick, so a little scared of this one, but that's fine. That's fine. Children of Fallen Gods ended on such a cliffhanger, so I'm really excited to jump back into this world, especially so quickly after. Hoping to be able to put this one on the Kerplunk TBR because, like I said, it is a brick. We'll see though. Alright, now it is time to pick a book from the Water Bowl. If you are a member of the top tier patrons, you get to pick a book for me, and I pick a book out of here every other month. So without further ado, I've reset all of these. So we're going to pick one. Okay, I've got an orange one. I think that means it's a newish one. All right, so this one's from Alicia, and I can't talk this morning apparently, and it is The Stranger in 8B. I have no idea what this is, so let's look it up. Okay, so this is a romance novella. It's The Stranger in 8B by Nikki Castle. So it says, he has one rule on flights, no working in the air, and he's determined to make the Ice Queen abide by it. Annie is a workaholic. Her entire life revolves around being a successful lawyer, which means she has no time for anything or anyone else, and that includes engaging with handsome strangers that try to distract her from working. Damien knows the second that he sits beside her, he's going to ignore the unspoken flight etiquette that says not to initiate small talk. Same, a mood. He can't help but coax Annie out of her cold shell, one playful comment at a time. Can Damien convince Annie to take a chance on him, even if it's just for tonight? Or will she rebuild her walls and shut him out? That sounds anxiety-inducing because I hate it when people talk to me on planes. But that's cool. Okay, well, that should be a fun time. All right, it is time to see how many Kerplunk polls that we were going to be doing this morning. I have a D12 dice, so I'm not going to be doing a punishment, so we won't add the D6 to it. We'll just say, how about this? If I don't end up finishing it, I will just do a separate TBR with a punishment roll. We'll do that. We'll put it in a vlog or something. Almost not have gotten worse. I don't think you can focus. Yep, that's an 11. That's an 11. All right, let's figure out our TBR. All right, here we go. 11 books. That's so many. If you don't remember the rules, I'm going to pull a stick and then I'm going to pick a card that is associated with that stick. If it's green, it needs to be set in the past. If it's orange, it's set in the present. If it's yellow, it's set in the future. If any of the marbles fall, I have to pick a black card, which will probably end up happening today because 11 books. Okay, let's just get started. Okay, we got a green. I really wanted to try to stay away from the yellow ones today because October is spooky season and I kind of want to read, you know, horror, which is past and present mostly. But I don't think that that's going to happen. Okay, we have a Netgalley book. For the prompt of a Netgalley Arc set in the past, I'm actually going to be reading Bride by Ali Hazelwood. I just got this a couple of days ago and it doesn't come out until like February, but I am intrigued, right? The author who does STEM romances with the big burly dude and the tiny little girl, woman, is now doing a vampire werewolf, like fantasy romance and like, it's probably going to be the largest werewolf known to man and the tiniest ever vampire, if I had to guess. Oh no, is this going to be Twilight fanfic? Oh no. Okay. Alright, moving on to pick number 2. The sticks are more red. I printed the cards before I actually had them. Ooh, a 5-star prediction. Love that. For the prompt of a 5-star prediction set in the present, I'm going to be doing Hunted by Darcy Coates. I was hoping to read this in September, but as we are getting to the end of the month, I just don't think that that's going to happen. So it'll probably be one of the first books that I read in October. And this is about a woman who gets lost and they find her camera that has like really disturbing images on it, but they can't find her. They're trying to use the camera to lead to her. And I think it's probably going to end up going paranormal in some way, shape, or form. It does say something like, as a small group strays farther from the trails and their unsettling discoveries mount, they begin to realize that they're not alone and Eileen's disappearance was no accident. So, I don't know. I trust Darcy Coates. I trust her to do a good story. Alright, to pick number 3, we are going to have to get some of these yellow ones because there's a bunch of them all clumped together. Eventually. Let's just get this one out of the way. Oop, they're shifting a little bit. That's fun. Okay. Oh, that's fantastic. A big book. That means like 400 to 500 pages or more. For the prompt of a big book set in the future, I am going to preemptively put on Harrow the Ninth by Tamsin Muir, provided that I read Gideon the Ninth in the last week of September. And I like it enough to continue on reading. But I don't have a ton of big books that are set in the future. It was this or Dune, and I didn't want to read Dune. If I don't like Gideon the Ninth, I will probably do a different one. I think I have The Blood Gift on Audible that I could get, which is the sequel to The Blood Trials, which I read in August and really liked. But for the purpose of trying to get my own physical TBR off, like, you know, to a lower number by the end of the year, we're going to try this one. All right, book number 4. So down on the bottom looks lonely. Another orange. Okay, and we have a small book. Fortunately, the next one that Kerplunk gave us was a small book. And this is set in the present. So we are going to be adding The Stranger in 8B to this Kerplunk TBR. It's only like 120 pages. So it'll be a super easy, quick read. I'll need to check and see if this is on Kindle Unlimited, but this will be a great flight book. I have a couple of trips coming up, so this will be a great for that month. All right, book number 5. Okay, another one set in the past. Ooh, a cover by. Aren't they all? For the cover by set in the past, I'm stretching this one a little bit. We are going to do Mother of Death and Dawn. Now you're like, Brie, the 3rd book in a series can't be a cover by. It is, in the fact that when Serpent and the Wings of Night got traditionally published, I wanted to pick up all of her books so that I could get the indie covers because, like, they are absolutely gorgeous, right? So I got this one as a birthday present. Even though this series specifically has not been picked up traditionally, I knew it was only inevitable. It was only a matter of time. So I wanted to pick this one up. So that's why it's cover by. All right, number 6. halfway done. Just do a yellow and at least get it even. A hyped book. For the hyped book set in the future, there were several that I could have gone with this one, but I wanted to make it easy for myself. And so we're going to actually continue on with the Murderbot series. I'm on number 4, which is Exit Strategy. So this is pretty far into the series, and Murderbot is just an absolutely adorable character that just wants to be left alone, and people keep bugging him. So it's a really good time. I've loved these books. I've given all of them 4 to 5 stars. The second one I think is my favorite in the series so far, but I know that a lot of people love this one as well. So highly anticipating this one, and it'll be a really good audiobook to listen to while I'm doing chores and stuff like that, because they're super short. Moving on to pick number 7. I feel like we've done a lot over here. All right, we got a green. Okay. A book for a project. That's a good one. For the prompt of a book for a project set in the past, I'm going to be reading Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. Everyone and their mother is talking about this book. Everyone. It was actually one of the most well-loved books during the Amazing Readathon, and that's what I'm going to be doing this for. I talked about this in my fall reset, which I'm not sure which video is coming out first, so you may not have seen it yet, but I'm going to be doing a video where I read some of the favorite books from the Amazing Readathon, and this was one of them, so it is for a project. And yeah, I've had it on my TBR for a very long time. Like, I got it in Book of the Month when it came out. And I think the new book comes out either later this year or early next year. So if I like it, then I'll continue on. All right, book number 8. Oh, I'm getting nervous. Okay, a contemporary. I would really love some horror. It is spooky season after all. All right, I could not have timed that better. Thriller or horror. Maybe Kerplunk was feeling bad about, you know, so many prompts and everything else. And it gave me the genre that I wanted. So a thriller or horror set in the present. And I'm going to be reading The Ravenous Dead. Now this might switch out because there might be spooky book clubs or other things that I want to read. But I would like to continue on with the series. I really liked The Whispering Dead when I read it. And I started reading this one and then put it down for other things. So I'd like to pick it up. This feels like a good spooky read. And I read the first one really quickly. So it's fathomable that I will want to binge read the rest of the series. And get another series off of my, you know, ever-growing list. This is the second book in the Gravekeeper series, and it is about a woman who can see ghosts or see spirits. And in this book, she is hired as the groundskeeper at a cemetery, and her job is essentially just to, like, move spirits along, let them pass on. And in this book, there's a spirit that does not want to be saved. It says sometimes the dead hate the living too much to find peace. So I'm excited about this one and excited to have another Darcy Coates on this list. All right, book number 9. Well, shit. All right, so we got a green. So we're gonna pick this prompt. Ooh, a whimsical fantasy. All right, I'm definitely straying away from my whimsical fantasy, but we will find something. But we do have to pick a black card to see if it's going to change anything. All right, and then this is just, the next pull has to be the color that you've pulled the least so far, which means it has to be a yellow. The problem is that once one falls, more will probably fall. At this point in my reading journey, I have very few whimsical fantasy books. I am finding that I'm not as much in the mood for them. However, this one has continued to stay on my shelves, so I'm gonna pick it up. And so I have an arc of the second book that I need to read, so I should start the series. So we have Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldree. I'm finally putting this on here. This is about an orc who used to be like a soldier. I think it's an orc, question mark. Yeah, an orc. Used to be a soldier, fighting in battles, and now wants to start a coffee shop. Very low stakes, seems like it should be cute, and like a good time, right? So we'll see. Okay, so the next one has to be a yellow. Okay, let's try this one. Perfect. Okay. A book with a beautiful cover. For the prompt of a beautiful cover set in the future, I couldn't not do this book, but that is Reset by Serena Dahlhan. This was in my Unplugged book box last month, and I mean, it's gorgeous, right? And then also the naked cover is stunning. The face pages, stunning. So yes, this is like a utopian world where every 7 years your memories reset so that you don't have prejudices and stuff like that. But also you forget the people that you loved. So there's problems with that. So I think this is like a sci-fi romance and I'm excited about it. All right, this is our last poll. Let's hope that it doesn't, you know, completely go haywire from here. Let's pull one at the top. All right, we got another orange. Okay, let's grab a prompt. All right, a book with a mental health rep. Lastly, for a book with mental health rep set in the present. I could have gone a lot of different ways for this, but I have a video project that I kind of need this book for, so I'm stretching it a little bit. And we're going to be reading Breathless by Amy McCullough. This is a thriller where this woman is climbing Mount Everest, I believe. No, not Mount Everest, Manasulu. And I feel like from the synopsis there might be some aspects of depression in this. It says that like she's given up her life, her career, her relationships, all to do this one thing, and that screams not in a great mental health space. So I could be stretching it, and if I'm totally wrong, sorry. You can let me know in the comments. But I need this for a video and I need it to work, and 11 books is a lot of books. Technically 12 because I didn't get Lone Woman on there. Here are some of the books that are not ebooks. It's a lot. There's a lot of books here. And this isn't really even all of them that I have to read for projects and things like that. So there's still a lot here. All right, anyways, thanks for watching. That's going to be a lot of reading this month. It's fine. Let me know a book that you are excited to read in the month of October. Let me know if you're doing any readathons or anything like that. I'm going to probably casually participate in Halloween Weekend, but I do have a lot of other things happening, so I don't know that it's going to. Something tells me I'll probably be taking a punishment and roll in November because this is a lot of books. Okay, anyways, thanks for watching. If you're not feeling chatty, do a ghost emoji, because that is my favorite spooky emoji. That's all I have for you today. If you're new here and you haven't yet subscribed, there's a little button that you can do so down below the video. If you'd like to hang out with me more, the links to my Instagram, Goodreads, Twitter, and my Patreon are linked in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!